So we've got some good news and some bad news, and some worse news and some worse news. But we're gonna start with the good news because Tesla very rarely gets new color options, particularly in the United States. And this one actually affects a lot of people potentially in the market because most of us are buying Model Ys these days. And the Model Y got two brand new colors that we've seen overseas and on Tesla's higher end options. I'm pretty sure this is just an extra layer of paint, but one of them is free, as in you can get this at no additional charge, and that's Stealth Gray. So it's like definitely a darker shade than the Midnight Silver Metallic of before. Midnight Silver's been the free color for what feels like over a year now, so the fact that Stealth Gray is now going to become the default like standard color for pretty much everybody buying a Model Y means that we're gonna see a lot of them. And that means in the United States, the only Tesla, and I think even the world, the only Tesla that doesn't have Stealth Gray is the Model 3. That's currently the only Model 3 with Midnight Silver Metallic, and I think the refresh is happening soon, so we'll probably get these two colors on the big Highland refresh in a couple weeks. And now we finally get Ultra Red on the Model Y as well, although you do have to pay for it on the Model Y. It's free on the Model S and X, but it's only $2,000, so I guess not the end of the world. But I've seen Ultra Red in person. It's an amazing color. I'm very grateful they're bringing it to a mass market vehicle like the Model Y because I want more people to be able to enjoy it and appreciate it. Unfortunately, this is kind of where the good news ends, I'm afraid, because across the board, pretty much with all Teslas except the Model 3, we saw a lot of range decreases across the website. Starting with the Model Y, the long range now has an EPA estimated range of 310 miles, and the performance took an even bigger dive of about 285 miles. So that's about 20 miles less on both trims. No change to the rear-wheel drive, however, which honestly every day now is starting to sound like a better and better deal. You know, some people are speculating that Tesla may be using a different EPA test cycle on their vehicles, and maybe that's why the range is lower and that it's not actually a difference in energy density or there's no change to the battery packs or anything. But if that were true, I'd be very curious as to why the rear-wheel drive Model Y didn't also go down in range. Maybe that one was on a different standard than before and now they're all on the same standard, but personally, if I were to speculate, we're not going to know for sure until someone takes delivery and actually plugs in a Scan My Tesla app to see if the actual kilowatt hours have changed. But my guess is that this would be a perfect time for Tesla to start switching over to 4680 cells on the long range and performance, because we know that the 4680's got a bit of an energy density increase with the Cybertruck. So why not start putting those Cyber cells, which have close to the same energy density of 2170 cells, into the Model Y? And maybe because, of course, 4680s are structured differently, and because Tesla feels confident enough in the demand of the Model Y long range and performance, they figured, yeah, okay, we just need range to be close enough. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as before. So maybe the long range and performance have made the switch over to 4680 cells, the same kind of cells of the Cybertruck, and we're just finding out that the range is a little bit different. But the downside, of course, would be that yes, the kilowatt hour rating is technically lower, and 4680s statistically don't have great charging curves. They don't have much degradation, which is a nice perk, but I think a lot more people would care about the charging curve being better because that affects your road trip experience quite a lot. And the other reason I don't think this is necessarily just a change in EPA test cycle is that if you go to existing inventory, so if you want an older Model Y that's in your Midnight Silver color or your regular multi-coat red, and you still want the EPA estimated 330 miles of range, they're still in inventory, listed at 330. Vehicles in stock that are brand new that still qualify for the full federal tax credit of $7,500, and they still say an estimated range of 330. So why would Tesla show one EPA test cycle on inventory and a different EPA test cycle on the order page? It's possible, no one's really sure yet, but that's kind of my running theory, is that Tesla either has switched over to 4680s on the higher end Model Ys because we know the Cato Road facility near Fremont is building lots of 4680 cells, and based on what I've heard from Cybertruck reviewers, they're claiming that half of the 4680 cells in use are coming from Cato Road, and we know Giga Texas is building Cyber cells as well. So the possibility of Tesla diverting a bunch of 4680s into Model Y production is possible to me, or it's also possible possible Tesla just took out a certain number of 2170 cells from the long range and performance Model Ys in order to just increase profit margins. That would kind of be the worst case scenario, is just like, oh, the range is worse because Tesla wanted to make more money, particularly given the Model Y isn't any cheaper than it was before. I will just say though, if the range numbers are genuinely decreased, then the rear-wheel drive with its amazing charging curve and we're pretty sure software limited battery pack is just sounding better and better by the day. It's the cheapest Model Y, still has the premium sound system, still has the HEPA filtration system. It's just an amazing vehicle. Yeah, the range is a bit low, but if you've got a great charging curve, it doesn't really matter, I feel like. You've got superchargers everywhere, right? And the other perplexing change we're seeing on the Model S and X is the long range had a lowered top speed. So it used to have a top speed of 155 miles per hour. Now the listed top speed is 130. So I don't think people buying the long range are gonna mind all that much, but that's just a change on the website. And also the range of the Plaid Model S took a pretty big dive. It used to be listed as 396 miles if you got those smaller, more efficient tires. But now, even with those same tires, they're listing it at 359 miles of range. And if you spec up the tires, the range goes down even further. And with the Model X, both options, long range and the Plaid, got decreased range estimates. It used to be a 351 mile range on the long range with the best tires, and now, even with those same tires, it's been reduced to 335 miles of range, and the Plaid also got a little bit of a decrease now, saying 326 miles of range. So I'd be very surprised if Tesla was actually tinkering around with the Model S and X battery packs, just because they have been using the same 100 kilowatt hours for years. So if I were to make a guess, I think it's more likely that Tesla is just trying to set expectations in a more realistic manner on some of these vehicles. There definitely has been a lot of negative press surrounding like the Cybertruck range at highway speeds being like 250 miles, even though according to the EPA, Tesla said it would be more like 318. So maybe Tesla's just doing damage control and just kind of bringing down the maximum range numbers of a lot of their vehicles, but not all of them. Or it's possible that they're rearranging with battery chemistries or something to secure better profit margins, but I'm genuinely curious of what all of you guys think. Do you think Tesla changed something internally? We at least know we're getting better color options than before, but aside from that, what do you think's going on here? Is there chemistry changes or just EPA test cycle changes? And if so, why isn't these new test cycles being affected on all trims? The Model S long range still technically shows 405 miles. Maybe this is some elaborate scheme to make the Model S long range sound like a much better deal by increasing its range advantage over the other Teslas. I don't know, but are you excited now to get a stealth gray Model Y? Technically now, that's the cheapest color option. And of course, if anybody's ordering a Tesla, make sure you get yourself some free FSD money by using a referral code like the first one in the description down below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.